Now, a group of Christians coming together to form Ghana Friends of Israel is urging government to rescind its decision to back the UN General Assembly resolution on the U.S. to withdraw its recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. They describe Ghana's vote as an error of judgment and a refusal to learn from history. Ghana last year was among 128 countries that voted in favor of the UN resolution. Addressing a news conference, convener of the group, Dr. Samuel Omwona, faulted government for its stance, describing it as a costly mistake.
We agree with the government's stand on the need for Palestinians to have their own state. But to take a stand that rejects Jerusalem as the undivided, eternal capital of Israel is a gross error of judgment, a blatant refusal to learn from history, and a gravely and costly mistake. First and foremost, divine truth asserts it. God says of the city in 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 36, Jerusalem, the city that I have chosen for myself to put my name there. The divine position on Jerusalem as an indivisible city chosen by God for the Jewish people is incontrovertibly made clear in Psalm 122 verse 3 to verse 4. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together, where the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, to the testimony of Israel, to give thanks to the name of the Lord. Furthermore, we know from the Holy Scriptures that even the New Jerusalem, the capital of the new earth that is to come, will maintain its Jewish flavor, with 12 gates named after the 12 tribes of Israel, built in heaven and descending from heaven to the new earth. There is no UN. The nations are not going to be partaking in this business. It is God in charge, building a whole city by himself and bringing it down to the new earth. So as for us as Christians, the people of the book, as we are called by other religions, Jerusalem has been, still is, and must, and shall remain the undivided, eternal capital of the Jewish people, and that is the truth. No other religion or people has any such claim on Jerusalem. Jerusalem has been and is a divinely chosen religious and political capital of the Jewish people. It has never been the capital of any other nation or people or religion. In fact, Jerusalem occurs more than 800 times in the Bible.
While the group is predicting tough times for the country if government does not take immediate steps to change its stance.
Ghana has, by her vote, taken the wrong side. Indeed, we will go further to declare that if the government would like to test this position with a referendum, we know we will be vindicated. We accept the fact that Ghana is a secular state. We are not saying Ghana is a Christian nation. We know that it's a secular state, although we know that our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, made it clear that Ghana shall be a Christian nation. He said it very clear. We have the records. But today, we, as a people, have decided to be a secular nation. We have no problem with that. But the Christian majority cannot be altered. As of now, we form the majority. And that is why we are strong on this point, that if the government doubts our position, we know that a referendum will definitely vindicate us. We are therefore, in closing, calling on the government of Ghana to take appropriate measures to reverse the position it has taken so as to avert any calamity that not even billions of petrodollars pledged can avert.
Now, President of the Ghana Journalists Association, Roland Afel-Money, has clarified that radio and TV presenter Kwame Sefikai won the 2016 Journalist of the Year award because his distribution of incubators, among other things, made impact. Speaking in an interview with Joy News' Bernice Abubedu on the controversy surrounding the 2016 awards held in December last year, Mr. Money claimed the award committee and the GJA looked beyond just the work of the nominee to scrutinize character and how the public perceives the nominee. He first addressed what the main factors are in choosing a Journalist of the Year.
Dominant criterion is impact. Impact. Number one, impact. At the time Kwame Nkrumah was chosen as Journalist of the Year, his impact was huge, measurable, immeasurably huge. Kweku Baako did not fire any entry. His impact at that time was again beyond measure, because Kweku had fought for the expansion of the frequency of media freedom, and he stood out. His impact was again beyond measure. Kwame Sefa Kane. Kwame is a symbol of confidence. It's a symbol of excellence, and it's a symbol of all that, the finest in journalism. Kwame is one of the purest gems in journalism. He is. So when it was time for the committee and the GJA, of course, to choose Kwame, when his name came up, we didn't have any qualms whatsoever. There have been times where the committee had proposed certain names, and we, as a committee, we as the umbrella organization, had objected to that proposal. Again, I can cite examples. Because we felt, again, that dominant criterion was not met. Impact. So if you are linguistically gifted, if you are gifted with literary embroidery, if you can, you can excel. But at the same time, we also look at your character. We look at your character. It's also very important. If you have a toxic character or toxic reputation, if you are somebody who is not respected outside the studio, and you happen to be the best, we shall deny you. We found out.
What do you mean?
We found that it was established that some of the stories he did were actually done by others, and that he wasn't going to work regularly. I said, you should exemplify, punctuality, exemplify, hard work. Understand? So we did our checks, and what came out did not match what the committee put out. So we were compelled to deny him the most prestigious tag as a Journalist of the Year.
Okay.
President Akufo-Addo has charged Ghanaian entrepreneurs to leverage available technology to manufacture goods and services so as to ensure self-sufficiency. Mr. Akufo-Addo says the move is in furtherance of his government's commitment to ensuring Ghana beyond aid. He was speaking at an exhibition of Kantanka Technology Center for Excellence.
Hundreds of Ghanaians trooped in to catch a glimpse and celebrate the latest works of the renowned innovator, Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo Sunday. Chiefs, members of parliament and other dignitaries gathered to have a feel of the new range of cars at Kantanka Technology Center for Excellence. Speaking at the exhibition, President Akufo-Addo stressed the need for Ghanaians to appreciate their own as Ghana looks to harness the potentials of its innovators in a fast-growing technology space.
We have to be self-sufficient. We have to stand on our own feet. And we're going to be able to do that when we are masters of technology, like Apostle Kojo Safo is trying to be for us to be.
The Ochehene of Achim Ibuakwa, Osajefo Amwetio for Repanian II, called for the support of government and all Ghanaians in promoting made-in-Ghana goods to help reduce unemployment and boost the local economy.
The difference between us, humans, and other species that walk the face of the earth is humans' ability to think, not made by a Ghanaian, made by this great man of technology.
We have a lot of natural resources in the country, but we are always dependent on foreign aid. If you are here right now, I would like you to know that the black man is capable of producing machines locally.
The exhibition, which is organized on the last day of each year, displays the technological innovation made by Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo, including locally made cars, motorbikes, and robotic welding machines.
What? You're watching Joy News Prime. I'm Arba Kumsin. We're taking a short break. More stories ahead. You're welcome back. Now, the Ghanaian community in the Bronx, a suburb of New York, is scheduled to hold a vigil in memory of 6 Ghanaians who died in a fire that ravaged an apartment there. Last week's inferno killed 12 people, including a 7-month-old baby and a teenage girl. It also claimed the lives of 6 Ghanaians, including an Army National Guardsman, Emmanuel Mensah, who tried to pull some of the victims to safety but lost his life in the process. Let's go on the line and speak to Francis Buano. He is a member of the Ghanaian community in the Bronx. He joins us on the line. Good evening to you, Francis. I imagine the Ghanaian community is in shock. How are people reacting to this incident?
So far, the community is really in shock, and we are trying to get grips of what happened. But the Ghana Mission in New York, the Ghana Consul General, together with the National Council of Ghanaian Association, the Ghana Ministers Fellowship, and the Ghana National Public Council, trying to organize the vigil, the January 4th, 2018 at 6 p.m. at 2363 Prospect Avenue. That's where the building was located. Actually, so far we have lost 6 Ghanaians. The saddest one is the gentleman who just brought his 2 kids from Ghana, and they both died in the fire with the father. And there was a Ghanaian soldier who was a hero. He tried to save a couple of people, and he was going for the last one. And I think he lost his life, unfortunately. And one of the guys happens to be my schoolmate from Kumasi Academy, who lost his life as well. So far, we are trying to get grips of it, and the community has been stricken with that death. And I think we'll do our best to give them a very good farewell. So we're trying to invite the Ghanaians in the community to join us where the building is, come with their candles, and then we'll have a vigil for them.
Now, we know the New York Fire Department has been investigating the cause of the fire. What details can you tell us?
Actually, yes. The New York Fire Department has a building code, and like I said before on the radio, that every building is supposed to have a hinge that will lock the door by itself once the person leaves the apartment. And I think in this situation, when the fire started and they left the apartment, the door was left open. So it contributed to the fire spreading to the other parts of the building. So they are still investigating to make sure that what happened exactly, that the door did not shut when they leave the apartment. And secondly, the lady that, the child started the fire has a history of playing with the stove in the apartment, which started the fire. So they are looking into that as well. So far, that is the information we have at the moment. And according to the mayor, The building did not have any violations that led to the fire, so New York Fire Department is still doing the investigation, and they will let us know exactly what contributed to it.
It's interesting you should say that the building did not have any violations, because we've heard from other Ghanaians that, you know, apartments in the Bronx, particularly inhabited by Africans, especially Ghanaians, are not, you know, in good shape.
Not necessarily. One thing I can say, the city has been, you know, going on a massive affordable housing system here in New York. And usually they monitor well. I remember, I think the public advocate listed the buildings that had a lot of violations on them. And this building in particular did not have that violation. Like you said, yes, most of the buildings are old. They have a lot of violations on them. And I think the fire started with the stove that the child was playing with, and that contributed to it. And in terms of that particular door not being shut, I think there might be a problem with that particular door. I think because my apartment building shut by itself once I leave. I don't even lock with my key.
I see. That's interesting. Yeah. All right, many thanks. We'll leave it here. Francis Bono is a member of the Ghanaian community in the Bronx, a suburb of New York, giving us details about a vigil that is to be held January 4th by the Ghanaian community there in honor of the Ghanaians who lost their lives in the fire outbreak. Now, 2018 is just a few hours old, and the euphoria seems to have no end. Social media is awash with wishes and resolutions. As we take in the excitement, Joy News' Daniel Daze asked some Ghanaians what their key decisions are entering the new year.
The beginning of any year is known to many people as a time for setting new goals and for making new resolutions. In fact, information we have from the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital indicates that it is this time of the year when most people decide to quit addictive habits like drug use, alcoholism, and the like. So this time around, we have come out here in Accra to find out what people are expecting from the new year 2018, to find out if they have set any new goals or they have made any new resolutions.
I'm an entertainment personnel, you understand, and with this year, I had a task that at least I have come so far. So maybe entering the new year, well, I have a plan which I'm going to fight over, and then I wish the Almighty God will also help me to do that.
To me, I need good education for my children. First of all, that is very, very important in my life. Yeah, it's very, very important because I have kids that they are looking onto me that maybe whatever they need, I could help them. And coming next year, I know my kids, some of them will move on to another stage, and I'm praying that God guides them to pass whatever they wanted to. Yeah.
I pray for favor, wisdom, knowledge, and my business that I'm going to do. The favor of God should shower on it for my business to flow, because as personal, I have this thing in me that I want people to benefit from me. I see that I'm a tree that people pass through me to reach the sky. I'll end it here.
To me, it's not good to my life. I have to change it so that in 2018, I can be able to live a better life and even move on. What my plan, that project I want to do and everything that I want to start, I'll start from 2018.
What are some of the things you want to stop doing?
That one, I can't talk to you now because my personal things.
Just one or two things.
Actually, as I'm talking to now, I have a problem with my wife. Even that's why I'm here. Because I want to hide small so that I release some tension and pressure on me. So, but now I have to put stop to some things so that I'll go home by tomorrow. So I'll go and be with her and sit with my family.
Oh, right now I'm going to open my school to get more people so that they will join us. Then we'll see how best we can do.
So the consensus is it's been a year of highs and lows, with many expressing disappointment, some also expressing hope about what has gone on in the year 2017. But of course, there has been an agreement that there will be something new happening in 2018. I don't know what your plans are. I definitely have my plans, and we'll be meeting within the new year with a new sense of drive and a new resolve to have them achieved. Reporting for Joy News, I'm Daniel Daze, Eras Kokomleme in Accra.
Now, on the Oxford Street of Osu in Accra, fireworks welcomed the new year. The partygoers greeted the new year with joy when the clock chimed midnight. They described 2017 as a challenging year and were hopeful 2018 will be kind to them. Joy News' Latif Idris and Jacqueline Nate crossed over into 2018 at Osu in Accra and came through with the following report.
There is this cliche that says that every man for himself, God for us all. Exactly. So whilst thousands, if not millions, have gathered in the church, worshiping God, crossing over into 2018, there are some who have, come here to just take it easy and cool. And these are the individuals we are engaging to find out why they decided to cross over to 2018 at a pub and not in the church. So let's go on and engage some more, revelers who in their numbers. So, hello, Mom.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Leah.
Leah?
Yes.
From where?
I'm from Holland.
From Poland?
Yes.
And you are here celebrating Christmas and crossing over to 2018.
Oh, yes.
Why did you choose Ghana and Accra?
Oh, one part is I'm visiting my husband, and the second reason is I work in Keta.
You work in Keta?
Yes.
In the Volta region. What do you do?
I
teach women?
Yes.
Okay. So, are you a religious woman?
Of course, we all are, or?
So why are you crossing over at the pub and not in the church?
Oh, but I believe the true religion is
So, how are you crossing over to 2018?
No, I want to celebrate it with the people I love, and I want to wish all the people in the surrounding the best. And for sure, we need love rule.
When are you going back to Poland?
February.
February.
Yes.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
The best
you
of 2018.
Too. Yes, you.
My name is Barkis Ibrahim.
Barkis, are you a Christian?
No, I'm a Muslim. New Year is a Muslim. We are one. So we eat. New Year is for everybody. It's not for Christians or Muslims.
What is that thing that you want to?
Marriage.
You want to get married? Oh, that's pretty amazing.
I want the two of you to show us something.
Show us something. Show us.
Yeah.
Like, woo!
2018 is here. 2018 is here on the Oxford Street.
2018.
So,
2018
is here, and the fireworks have started here at the Oxford Street.
Wow! I'm really enjoying myself here, Latif. Trust me. The fireworks are here. I've never rightly direct under fireworks before. This is my first time, and I am so scared. I'm thinking something, it might just pop onto my head.
Yeah! So it's 2018, and we're on the Oxford Street, and the fireworks have started.
Amazing. You can check it out for yourself.
Wow.
This place is
and the Lizzie Sports is packed.
Yeah.
We have lots and lots of people here welcoming 2018, and they are doing it in grand style.
I told you.
And the fireworks, it's amazing. Do they pay for these guys to come and crack it here?
No, they don't pay them. They just come here and then do what they have to do. Wow, they were just close, Latif. Hey!
Oh!
Let's go.
All right, so prompt as he should focus.
Turn on music.
All right.
All right, interesting resolutions there. I have a couple of my own. Now, when people make resolutions at the beginning of the year, as a guide usually to what they intend to achieve, the exuberance with which these resolutions are made most often fail within the months. Today marks the beginning of a new year, and we seek to find out what to do to sustain our resolutions. I've been joined in the studio by life coach and counselor Amos Kelvin Annan. Happy New Year to you.
Many blessed returns. Finally, I got you to interview me. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, it's an honor to have you in our studio. So
starting my year right.
Yes, indeed. So, I mean, you heard the people in the report that Latif brought to us. Everybody always has new ideas, something new they want to do. I don't know where the zeal for these goals come. Is it because it's a new year? Let's start off with what the definition of a resolution is.
Well, a resolution would be a decision an individual takes born out of an experience or an expectation they have for their life. So it is a decision made, which may be the product of something you may have experienced, which you want to avoid, or you want to perpetuate, for which reason you arrive at that. Or it is an expectation you set for yourself. Oh, next year I want to be a good man. That's a beautiful resolution. Next year I want to trim down. With me.
That is actually my resolution for this year.
It is yours. Yes. Okay, so we are in the same boat then.
I need to shed a few pounds, and I keep telling myself I need to exercise.
I think it's a healthy choice to make, and it's also a lifestyle resolution.
Exactly.
So an individual makes such a resolution for themselves, and oftentimes it's at the end of the year because you are terminating one year and about to usher in another one. So you want to start on a fresh page. And that's helpful. But the question is, can you sustain it at the end of the year?
Okay, we'll come to sustainability of our goals, but how do I make smart resolutions? Is it just getting up and deciding that, okay, this is an aspect of my life I need to address? Must there be a problem for you to address? Or is it just a matter of, it's a new year, you need a new challenge, and so something new must happen in your life?
Well, for some it is that way. They are bored with the lifestyle they had the year before and want to challenge themselves to higher aspirations, and therefore they say, well, I'm going to get this done. This building is being lingering for too long. It's being on the blueprint for too long, and I want to execute that project. So what stopped me from executing last year was that I didn't save enough. So I'm going to now cut out certain luxuries or certain wants which I have fed so I can focus on this project. So others go that route. Others too is just flimsy and flippant. They are just on the spur of the moment. Hey, next year I'm doing this. Next year I'm doing that. And then you realize they don't
What's the rationale for that? Is it because everybody else is
motivated? It's some incentivization from others. They see you, they get inspired. Oh, Araba says this is her project. Oh, me too, that will be my project. But Araba may have sat down to really do a cost-benefit analysis of what she's about to do. You may not have had the benefit of same. So when Araba starts off the year, she's starting off in a firm foundation, whereas yours is some kind of a try and error.
Not well thought through.
Not well thought through. So you have situations such as that. But you'll be amazed to see that not all that you think through carefully would you be able to execute.
Exactly.
Because that would be dependent on many happenings in the course of time.
I see. For example, I mean, in my case, my New Year resolution was to, exercise more. And initially I started on a good note. I was exercising regularly, but I wasn't able to sustain it because, my work schedule changed and, but there are those who say that in order to be committed to your goal, you need to be diligent. Is that the case?
Yes, diligence is required in every endeavor that you want results, because if it is that you're seeking to have results, staying focused, keeping your eye on the ball, and knowing clearly that I have some benefits that are going to accrue as a result of this decision that I'm taking. Okay. So let's take your case, for instance. Could it be that your schedules became overwhelming and therefore you felt discouraged, for which reason the energy, the extra strength to do this, garner it and to do it was absent? That may be possible.
That may be possible.
It could also be that you may have bitten more than you could chew. And therefore now you need to downsize those expectations and standards. Assuming the person was saying you're doing it, say, every day in a week or every other day in a week. And then you couldn't do every other day. So all of a sudden the incentive to cut.
Well, I mean, the plan was to do it every other day because I didn't want to, push myself to the extreme. Exactly. I wanted to be realistic. So I wanted to start every other day so that in the event that I'm not able to do it every other day, at least I'll do it, I just wanted to be realistic, but it turned out I wasn't able to sustain it.
Well, I mean, the sustainability, sometimes if you're in a company of others, accountable friends, for instance, they help you. So myself and 2 other friends, we were on a project to trim down our 0-pack. This is something called 6-pack. Ours is 0-pack.
It's just one.
It's just one. So we want to do away with that. So we are on regular lemon and warm water.
And how's that working?
Oh, it's working. The few times that people who had not seen me in a while saw me said, something is changing about it. I'm on a project. So there's also some excitement about it because we are keeping each other accountable. And when we have the opportunity to talk, we raise the issues. So sometimes it's the fact of you not having somebody to keep you on track. At the time, some people are able by their personality to keep themselves on track, even where there's none to do so. For others, they may need some extra push from friends who form the social network. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous, if you look at them. Once Alcoholics Anonymous came, a lot of people who were struggling to move away from alcoholism or getting overly involved in alcohol intake managed to break off a habit, as difficult as that. And so you may want to consider getting a friend who also wants to go on that trajectory with you, who may check on you. Maybe every Tuesday call me to see if Araba did what she always wanted to do. That's fine. The other thing also is this, that you also know the benefits that will come as a result of you taking such a decision. And no decision of this nature comes easy. So sometimes we need to whip ourselves back in line and don't say, well, because I missed the first one, I don't need to do the second one. This is not like from primary 1 to primary 2. There are others who live from primary 1 to primary 3.
Yes.
Can't we take some inspiration from that? And then move from 1 to 3. And then from 3 we can continue gradually. And then I'm a gradualist in everything I do. I believe that you don't have to give up simply because the first 2 steps faltered. Even when you have faltered, you can still bounce back and start the project again. It is said that every new level introduces a new devil. And
every new level introduces a new devil. That's quite interesting.
Yes,
but tell us, Councillor, what bottlenecks can hinder achievements of our goals and resolutions?
When it is that you set goals and objectives that are too much to handle within a given space of time. Sometimes it is the case that we are not too clear our timelines. So once you smudge them together, it's difficult now to disaggregate same and take them one after the other. That's one. 2, sometimes it's also the case that I've tried this before, it didn't work. So what's the incentive to go that route again? So I won't go at all. Other times it's also the case that I'm not too certain if that involves other parties.
What does that mean?
Those, for instance, if you set goals that involve other persons delivering on a certain promise, for you to be able to attain those goals, then it makes it difficult because you are not too certain if they have the same commitment level as yours. Here you are giving your 110% and they are giving 50%. So your timelines to meet your news editor, publish your online stories, do this, are not going to be forthcoming, even though you have promised yourself that this time I'm going to be timeous in the delivery of same. Because it involves a second person, you need to now get them to be sufficiently committed to the process. And that's not going to be easy because you know people, we have strengths and we have weaknesses.
Exactly.
What if it dovetails more into their weakness than into their strength?
Right.
Other times also is the case that we ourselves have not done a thorough work on ourselves to know why we did not succeed the first time. And we are afraid to face ourselves in the mirror.
Is it perhaps because we know the answer?
We know the answer. I mean, it's glaring in the face, it's staring you. And so it will be necessary for me to ask myself, why did I not achieve last term's goals, last term's objectives? And if I am able to identify those, I look at those that are within immediate reach, those in the medium to long term, and then those in the long term.
Right.
Sometimes it's also the case that people have not been able to clearly create a delineation between what is immediate, what is medium term, and what's long term.
Well, someone would say, I mean, that is a lot to consider. If I just want to lose weight, I have to sit down and think through it carefully. Just because I want to lose a little weight, I have to do cost analysis, cost benefit analysis. I mean, why do I have to go through all this, you know, for lack of a better word, wahala, you know, just to lose, you know, some pounds?
Well, you see, the point of losing weight is not just losing weight. Is it as a result of lifestyle? Is it as a result of work? Is it as a result of diet? Is it genetic? So when I know that in my family there's a history of people putting on weight at a certain stage in life, then I am mindful of it. So you don't beat yourself overly, you don't stress yourself too much because it's genetic. There's a certain history to what is happening to you.
Right.
Now, so there's a level to which there's reasonableness with respect to how you're looking right now.
Right.
But beyond a certain threshold, you take responsibility for self. That's why there's a need to do assessment.
Because that's what a lot of people fail to do.
Yes.
Okay. So, Councillor, finally, just tell our viewers what they must do if they go off their resolutions in order to get back on track.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. I think it's very helpful we are looking at when they have failed because many of us set the goals and we falter.
Right.
And we conclude that because we have faltered, it's a failure.
Exactly.
But once you have faltered, it's a time to also really look at your steps, sit up, encourage yourself, rise up and run again. That's number one. Number two, you should ask yourself whether you are very clear on the objectives that you set for yourself. How clear were you? And how unclear were you? Because if it is that you are too unclear about what it is you want to attain at the end of the year, clearly you'll be accelerating and going nowhere. That's important. Thirdly, how much commitment and energy do I have to stay on this matter? Because sometimes you don't have the intrinsic motivation, which is inside you, to want to carry through to the end. But you know that it's only when you have run the race to the finish line that you receive the accolade as the first, second, or third in the categories of those who have won. So there's a need for you to ask yourself, how much can I garner to be able to reach there? And lastly, who do you need, or what resources do you need to be able to achieve? And are they within reach? Because sometimes, like I said, you may need other parties to stand with you in order to achieve your own personal goals.
Yeah.
And where it is those are part of it as a factor, then you need to bring them on board in your consideration.
Okay.
But let's not lose hope and let's not be faint-hearted, because uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
All right, let's not lose hope. Let's not be faint-hearted, and let's be committed to our, resolutions and our goals, and we'll get there. Just bear in mind the end results, and you will get there. Thank you so much.
It's an honor.
It's an honor to see you here in my studio today. So that is Kelvin Amos Annan, and he is a life coach and a counselor joining us to discuss this matter. But let's go to Facebook. We've been asking you why we fail in achieving our New Year resolutions, and we have some comments here. Benjamin Ajimana says it's because there are certain bad habits which have become part of our lives and they're causing limitations, and until we become disciplined enough to let go of those habits, resolutions can never be achieved. And Kwame Ellie Walker says, because we fail to have a new life after the resolutions, I think what we need is new life resolution, not a new year resolution. That's interesting. We've got to be in our comfort zone, then we have to aim and hit our goals. Kwesi Boateng Aipa writes, we are only interested in setting goals, but we fail to work towards the achievement of the said goal. Well said. He says, we mostly forget about the goal after 3 months of the set goals. And Kwame Sapong Nana says, because we do not carry everything to God in prayer before we make resolutions. That's a good one. You're watching Joy News Prime. I'm Arba Kumsin. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. And from the rest of us, thank you for staying with us. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Thank you for staying with us throughout last year. Stay with us this year. We promise you a lot more exciting programming. I'm Arba Kumsin. Good night.